very sick right now, so I'm going to sound very, very bad. I'm recovering from a really bad flu, and I just got on Meet Your Maker just to see how my bases were doing. I haven't got on in a while because I've had the flu, and I woke up and couldn't fall back asleep because I've been sleeping all day for about 16 hours. But I'm getting better, and it looks like Meet Your Maker has dropped an update that is very cool and very... I don't know how I feel about it yet. That's the thing. Um, right now I'm fixing something in this base right now. I made a Star Wars base, Star Wars themed base anyway, as best I could. But right there, actually, you can see on one of the updates, the parts actually magnetize to you when you pick them up or go to pick them up. So I need to fix a couple of guards patrol pass through here. I think something's messed up. Let's see. I think I need this guy here. Take off the blood control them all the way up here. Looks like there's goodies up there. That's gonna contribute to the danger rating. Take off that bloodlust mod. He's on patrol? Yeah, he's the one that's on patrol already. So let's send him on patrol up here. This is a second wave guard base, basically. This isn't really what the video's about. But the update that they did was, what is that called? Expeditions, there we go. Expeditions. They teased it in the dev stream about a month or two ago, and like that's part of one of the updates. Excuse me. But yeah, they updated it pretty recently. I don't know how recently, but it's been pretty recent with the updates. Just gonna change this real quick because people keep sometimes this is what you gotta do. People keep hanging out back here in front of this corner because that pillar was there, so I decided to change it just to make sure they didn't do that again. Alright, so that should work. I'm not going to test it because this isn't what the video is about. I'm sure it's going to work. I'm not aiming to get major kills on this base, so I'm just going to exit. And while that loads, I'm going to talk a little bit about Expeditions. So Expeditions has completely changed the matchmaking system in Meet Your Maker. You no longer have a choice to choose what outposts you raid, so it kind of limits your ability to play the ones you want at the time you want. I don't know if that's a good decision, but we'll see what we'll see what everybody else thinks. We'll give it a month. See what people think. I know people are going to be really surprised. Not necessarily bad or good. But I know everyone's going to be surprised. I know I was when I loaded up the game. So I'm not sure what people are going to think of it, like I said. But we'll see. We'll see. So you have your normal, dangerous, brutal bases. You play 16 of them in a row, and then you get a free cosmetic or something like that. We'll go back and look at it. But only on brutals you get a free cosmetic after you do 16. Now, 16 outposts is a lot, man. 16 brutal outposts? That's a lot. Just to get a free cosmetic. And I get it. You're trying to pad out the content a little bit. I get that. But raiding 16 bases just to get a cosmetic, and it has to be brutal, or else you have to go through the whole thing again. I mean, that doesn't sound like fun. If you're doing it for the cosmetics, if you're doing it just to play the game, yeah, of course you're gonna have fun, because you'll have fun regardless. You'll probably hear the game in the background because I got the stereo on right now, but and my controller's right by the mic as well. But yeah, we'll see it right here. See, it's got a cool HUD actually. It looks really cool, really flushed out. I like the setup right here. This looks really cool to new players. This looks really cool to experienced players. You can see the expedition points right there and how many you've completed. I just tested it out just to see if you needed to do all 16, and it looks like you're gonna have to do all 16 because I just did 3 normals and it didn't give me any expedition points right there. Your expedition points are down there on the lower right corner of the screen right there. But looks like I'm gonna get a random reward. Can't talk right now. Random reward once you complete all 16 raids in Brutal. You do not get anything. You get that bar halfway filled up if you do normal. If you do dangerous, you get it 3/4 of the way full. If you do brutal, you get the free cosmetic or whatever it is. It's random cosmetic, so it could be anything a slot machine gives you, which is a nice addition to people that already play the game a lot, and it is a good incentive to raid brutal bases so you can show off your cool cosmetics and make your raider look cool. But I do miss the freedom of choice when you pick your bases to raid and stuff like that. I liked to raid bases that had cool thumbnails. I liked to raid bases that look cool on the outside. And those are the bases that I chose most of the time, were the bases that the creative creators created. That's a lot of create in one sentence. But basically, it just restricts the raider from choosing what they want to play. You're forcing them to play 16 hand-picked outposts that they didn't even choose, that they may not even like, and you're forcing them to play those. Granted, yes, if you don't like the outpost, you could just reset it, but it's gonna be real tough to keep resetting stuff when you... How do I say this? If you keep resetting to because you don't like the outpost, and do you even get to see the outpost? Let me see. Yeah, it looks like you do get a temporary picture of it. Yeah, you do, but you don't get to see the outpost until you complete these outposts right here on the line. See, there's a sort of like a world map almost, like a Super Mario, like the Nintendo 64 one I got. Not Nintendo 64, it's Super Nintendo. It's Super Mario World. I think it's what it's called. I don't remember. I haven't played it in a while. It's up there in the basement. I'm not sure where it is. Down there in the basement? I don't know. I'll have to find it, but I think it's like Super Mario World, where you go to these destinations and you play the map, and then you go further, and it looks like they added a little bit extra here. You get like free stuff for your slots. That's another thing that I was going to mention. I'll mention that later, or I'll talk about that later, more enlighten you on that later. But it looks like they are trying to make it look cool and fun. And Meet Your Maker, in my opinion, was already cool and fun. Yeah, some people dropped it because it got stale and that's all you did was raid bases and make your own base. And it was addicting, man, and there's still some things that I wanted to try in my bases that I haven't gotten to yet. But people that aren't really creative, that just like to get kills, and they're really tryhards at this game. I hate using that word, but you're really good at the game, but you're not very creative. It's favors creative people over people that want to create bases to kill people, in my opinion. Because if I look at your base and I see a bunch of traps and you don't put anything on the outside, I'm not gonna raid your base. I'm gonna raid the person that put an animal outside their base, like a lion, or a giant tower, or something, a giant penis. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there, but just that kind of creativity is what I would pick over the most dangerous, boxy looking base, you know. And I'm not saying killer bases can't be creative. I've seen bases that are creative, that are brutal, that are all four of those. And you can look up Daka Booms. He's got a great YouTube channel on brutals that he is brutally honest with, basically, no pun intended. He sometimes doesn't even give the creators credit sometimes. Most of the time he does. But when he raids brutals, sometimes he doesn't give the creators really anything. And I get that. It's his opinion. But I try to give the creators at least 2 accolades just because they spent the time on the map to create it. I'm not saying just throw out accolades to people. I'm not saying die on their map purposely to give them more points, which I do that sometimes personally, but you don't have to. But that's just because I want to see people succeed. I want to see people level up their maps. I want to see what people do with their maps and take that, you know, as, okay, what can I do better on this map? You don't just throw away a map and start all over, you know. You try to fix it first, and if you can't fix it, well, maybe, yes, you may need to abandon the idea after a couple of tries of not getting very many kills and accolades. But, anyway, I'm getting on a tangent here. That's the map that you have to go through. Once you complete all of these, I assume you would get those expedition points right there where it says expedition points, the 100 right there. And that is a reminder, that is only halfway to that random cosmetic option right there. And difficult is 3/4 of the way, and brutal is all the way. So you have to do 16 to get the random cosmetic, and then you have to do it all over again. I haven't done the math on this. Whoops. I went to my bases. I haven't done the math on this, but I think there are 30... Get my phone. 30... We'll see in a minute. Expedition rewards. There are 24 plus it randomly selects a reward after that. So if you play the game every single day and you do 16 brutals, a month, you would only get the first cosmetic option right here. And granted, I know that people are going to play more brutals a month than like that, but that's just throwing a number out there. So if you wanted to get the 24th cosmetic right there, you would have to complete the 16 brutal run 24 times, it sounds like, to get that. Now, I get that it is a good way to show off how people grind for stuff, you know. And I get that people like to do that. People like to have an incentive to grind, which it is a good incentive to grind. It's a cool skin. Do you even get to look at it? No, it doesn't look like you get to look at it, I don't think. Well, that's unfortunate, but maybe they should add that. They're always open to criticism and constructive creativity stuff. So mention it on their Twitter, mention it on their Facebook, wherever they have their discussions, you know, and try to get those ideas out there. We'd like to look at the skin before we grind for it, you know, because just seeing a temporary picture of the skin is not really causing me to want to grind for the skin. Yeah, it looks cool from here. It's got that hollow background, which makes it look even cooler, but I'd really like to see it up close. I'm not saying they have to take lessons from Fortnite and Apex where they display all the skins, and Overwatch where they display all the skins for you and the prices and stuff, but this is all free. So I mean, Anything like this that you do not have to pay for, I am all for. I'm not saying this is a bad option. This is better than nothing. This is better than what they have, you know. And all they're trying to do is make improvements and make people happy and have people not complain as much. I'm not complaining. Don't get me that I'm complaining. Don't think that I'm complaining about this. What I'm just trying to say is I'm not sure how this is gonna go. I want to hear your guys' feedback. I want to hear what you guys think about it, and I want to hear what they could do better, so we could reach out to the devs and tell them what we want as a community. Because I'm not being negative or anything, not trying to be negative. This game is thriving off of the community. If Meet Your Maker had no players, had very few raiders, and very few base creators, this game would not be thriving at all. Once it loses its player base, and once it loses its live updates, it's not going to be the Meet Your Maker that you and I know now. So, what they want everybody to do is come back, you know, they want everybody to play every day, of course, because it's a live updated game. It's a live service game, technically. It's not a battle royale or anything, but it's still a live service model. But they want everybody to come back. You know, whether it's once a week, whether it's every day, whether it's twice a week, whether it's once a month, whether it's, you know, 5 times a season, doesn't matter. They just want people to come back and play. And that goes for any game, specifically, or just in general, but specifically for Meet Your Maker. If they lose their player base, they're not going to have players at all, and you're not going to get raids on your bases at all. So, anyway, I got long-winded on that explanation. I'm just saying that everything they've done so far is great. The Assassin update was great. The snow level was great. The adjustment they made to the difficulty with the skulls and stuff, I mean, that's good. Even though I had to change a lot of stuff in my bases, I had a base that got 20 kills all the time, and then it went from 20 to, you know, 12, and then 10, so it could be because raiders are getting better, and there's just better raiders raiding my bases now, and now I don't get very many kills anymore because people are getting better at the game, so I gotta find out a way to, basically outsmart everyone that's raiding my bases, and basically I gotta relearn the game again, and that's okay, because it forces you to play differently, it forces you to make bases differently, it forces you to think, and not a lot of games force you to think. Most games, you know, like battle royales and live service games, live service models, you can just sit in there, sit back on your seat, like, you know, on your couch or something, and recline and just play, you know. One thing that I would like to see in Meet Your Maker is a proper matchmaking system where you can pair up with another person, another raider, in a random lobby to go raid a base with if you would like. You can play single player, or you can play a duo with a random person. That's what I would like. And I would like a proper cross-platform with PC and PlayStation, or PC and Xbox, whatever this game is on. I think it's on all 3 systems. To where you can play with other PC people, to where you can play with other Xbox people, and make sure that, you know, you two can, you know, have fun, and you don't have to have a mic system. You don't have to talk to people. You don't have to make sure that the mic is working. If your mic is on, they can't hear you. You know, that's fine. We don't need mics. It would be cool if we could find a way to make the mics work and people cooperate, but then that just probably adds another issue where people are going to be toxic and stuff and call you names probably and hurt your feelings, and that doesn't matter to me. You know, if I find a toxic person, I'm just going to kick them from my party. Either that or just abandon the raid and not play with them anymore, you know? Or block them if they're that bad. So, I mean, it would be really nice to have a proper matchmaking system that let you play with other people online, you know? And another thing that I was hoping people at the dev team would hear was, see, now I lost it. I was explaining other stuff and now I lost it. Let's see if I can remember. It was something about, live replays. So like, you know how the video camera, basically you have an imaginary video camera, imaginary GoPro that follows the raider around all the time. I would like to see a live recording of that raider. So, like when you enter like a Twitch stream, you could rewind to see what had happened, and then you can rewind to the current minute that we're on, and they're streaming, and you can watch that live. That's what I kind of want to see. And you know, you can make the Chimera say something sort of like, there is a raider raiding your base now, you should go take a look, or something like that. That's just an example. That's cheesy and bad. Please devs, don't make them say that. There's other ways that you can, you know, make it sound cooler. You know, a raider has raided your outpost. You know, look at your video feed or something like that. I'm not very creative right now. I'm still getting over my flu, but and I have a really bad headache right now. But I'm gonna finish this video off pretty soon. I wanted to just mention that. But yeah, I would like to see live recordings of the raiders raiding, like actual raids. And if they can have an app that showed your base, your active bases, and how many kills you get, that would be cool too. I would love to see that on my phone. Updates on what base killed who, you know, or what base got this many kills before it was deactivated, you know. But like a little app to see what's going on in your base. You could make it free, or you could make it, you know, purchasable, $5 or something like that. I'm sure people would buy it. But sort of like a stat counter almost. But it's like a live feed that's feeding you information, kind of like fantasy football, where you get updates on your players scoring and stuff like that, or if you won or lost a game, kind of like that sort of. It would get people excited. It would get people thinking about it, and it would get people to return to their base, I feel like, and try to fix the things that weren't going well in their base. So I feel like that would be a good addition. I don't know if that's going to cost them a lot of money, so, but it you know, you wouldn't have to watch, you know, the replays on the phone or anything. I know that's a technical thing right there, and I don't think that's possible. That would be really cool if you could watch the replays on your phone, but I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that is technology that we can get working right now. But the stat counting and stuff like that, and like a live feed or like an update on how your base is doing, you know, about halfway through, you know, when it's drained half its gen mat or something like that. Or if you get a kill on a raider, it updates you got a kill, you know. But that would be really cool to see. Let's see, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Oh, and one more thing, they do need to fix this. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I cannot claim that one challenge, and it will not let me. I have reset my game, I have tried to claim it, I have refreshed my challenges, and they still do not work. I'm thinking about installing and uninstalling the game to see if that works, but I really don't want to do that. But let me know if you guys have found a fix for it, because that's really annoying, because I only get 3 challenges now instead of 4, and I could really use a 4th challenge, because I like to earn that synthite, man. That synthite's very, very, very important. It's
Other sanctuaries built. The secret to immunity cannot evade us forever.
I'm going to level up my Chimera, and I'm going to show you guys a map raid real